Today's presentation is around today's new active older adult. Let me share my screen with you and we will get started. All right, here we go. So when we're out and about in the public, we have some signs on our cars that say aging is cool. And we get one of two reactions when we pull up to a stoplight. One is the thumbs up and one is the thumbs down. And we're going to talk a little bit today about why aging actually can be cool and how your life can actually be positive and engaging and challenging your entire life. So we're going to start by breaking some myths about aging. There's a lot of false statements and false understanding about getting older. In a world where youth and beauty are the narrative, people just think that getting old is a terrible thing, and we tend to disagree. The first myth is that old people are all the same. And the reality is that there's more variety among older adults than any other age group. As you get older, you have had more experiences, more exposure to things all throughout your world. And that makes us different. That makes us unique and not just the same. We don't all want to do the same things. We don't all want to sit down in our rocking chairs. We don't vote the same. We don't behave the same. There's nice people. There's not nice people. We're different, just like any other age population. The second myth is that when you get old, you're going to have to go to a nursing home. Now, this is absolutely not the truth. Admittedly, some people do have to go to nursing homes for short periods of time for recuperation from a fall or an injury or a sickness. But according to the National Institute on Aging, only 5% of older adults are actually in nursing homes at any given point. What's also changed a lot in today's society is new alternatives to living. Now, admittedly, if you don't have a lot of money, your options go down a whole lot. But if you're able to afford it, you can get home care. You could go to an assisted living where you get assistance. But a true nursing home is meant for the very, very ill. And not all of us are going to end up there. The next myth is that aging is somehow depressing. And research shows that the happiest Americans are actually the oldest Americans. And if you look at this on a worldwide level, studies on happiness show that most people are happiest between the ages of around 65 to 75. What are the reasons for that? I would say that it's because you know yourself better, that you have been through trials and tribulations in your life, and you know that this too shall pass. So I think we have better coping mechanisms as we get older and really are resilient in the world around us. We also might have a little bit better understanding of ourselves and a little bit more flexibility to do the things that make us happy and actually choose to do that, especially if our job was not that for us. The next myth is that aging dulls your wits and inevitably causes dementia. Dementia is a real concern. It's a real concern for all of us as we get older. 1 in 10 people over age 65 will be diagnosed, and those rates go up much higher when you get to be 85 and older. But the truth is that dementia is a certain type of memory loss. And although we frequently will forget where our car keys are, or we forget where we parked in the parking lot, that is different than picking up a set of car keys and not knowing how to use them. So admittedly, our brains can get cluttered and we might forget why we walked into a room for a minute, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have dementia. Depending on our accumulated experience, our brains can actually work better over time. Again, we learn different types of ways to think. We learn different ways to problem solve. And we also use different parts of our brain the older we get. So it doesn't mean that you have dull wits just because you're older. People stay sharp for a very, very long time. The next myth is that aging makes you unable to adapt to new situations. And like Mr. Chameleon here, older adults are actually quite capable of adapting to new situations. If you think about yourself, when you walk into a room full of strangers, chances are you've done that before, right? You've been to a party or you've been in a situation where you know how to navigate new situations. You have problem-solving skills. So you're actually more expert at that the older you get. This one always makes me giggle, that aging somehow erases your libido. Research has found that sexual activity and enjoyment do not actually decrease with age. Some people have very active sex lives their entire lifespan. And that's it. That may be related to physical things or maybe related to choice, however you want. But the reality is that people are still having sex, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It can still be a part of your life. Intimacy and sex can be part of it throughout your lifespan. The next myth is that older workers are less productive than younger workers. At Aging is Cool, about 75% of our staff are over age 60, and we love it. We love it. Older workers tend to show up on time. They're more dependable. They have great problem-solving skills. The folks that work with us are doing it because they want to do it, because they enjoy doing it. They make better decisions than some of the younger folks. So it's a really encouraging the society to start really looking at older workers and hiring them versus always feeling like, you know, only the younger people understand technology. The reality is lots of seniors are able to navigate all the systems with proper training. So older workers are not less productive. They're actually great assets. So the truth is that aging is not lost youth, but a new stage of opportunity and strength. This is Dorothy here on the left, and we took her and a group of seniors to go do trapeze, indoor trapeze work. And Dorothy, I think at the time, was about 78 years old, and she was able to do everything that we put in front of her. And that's because she has maintained a very active, engaged lifestyle, and now she's able to try some new things that she's never tried before. So aging has changed. We are living longer and healthier lives. People are working and contributing longer. And you don't have to sit down in a rocking chair and just stop moving. You see this quote here from Ashton Applewhite. She wrote an amazing book called This Chair Rocks. Chronological age is an increasingly unreliable benchmark of pretty much anything about a person. You cannot say because a person is 72 years old that they will be this way or that way. One of our most active members is 93 years old. She goes to every brain training class, every fitness class. She navigates through Facebook and social media. She is not what most people would think of as a 93-year-old woman, but her age has nothing to do with it. That's just who she is, and she has chosen to be engaged and committed to her world throughout her lifespan. So how do you age successfully? We've done a lot of research on this topic, and there's really 5 main areas that we think are really important. The first is physical activity. Second is getting cognitive stimulation. Third is finding meaning and purpose in your life. Fourth is your social interaction and your relationships. And the last thing is gratitude, acceptance, humor, and attitude. And we're going to talk about each of these independently. So whether you've been physically active all your life or not, you can choose to make that change now. You don't have to wait or feel like you can't do it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to a gym. The key is you need to be moving your body. It's good for your brain, it's good for your blood flow, it's good for your heart. It is integral to keeping your muscles stretched out and your flexibility so that you can continue to do what you want to do. Just some suggestions of ideas to think about. Walking is always a great idea. Hiking, taking fitness classes. Aging is Cool offers senior-focused fitness classes. You'll also find some of our fitness classes online. Weight-bearing exercises to kind of keep your muscles and your bones in particular strong. Yoga is really great if you've never tried it. I personally have a back injury, and so getting on the floor is very difficult for me, but seated yoga works beautifully. So just because you can't get on the floor and do all the things that you might see the yogis doing, you certainly can do some amazing things from your chair, and there are many specially trained yoga instructors. Tai Chi, same thing. Tai Chi can be done seated and standing, and it's a beautiful slow movement, which helps with stretching. It also really helps with calming the nervous system. Dance is particularly good for your body, but it's also really good for your brain. Cross body movements and the way that you move your hands and feet when you dance, remembering steps are actually good for your mental capacity. And then we kind of put some fun ones on here. Indoor rock climbing, which we've done with some older adults here in Austin. Trapeze skills. Of course, these would be for people who are a little bit more fit. But don't forget that there are lots of different ways that you can use your body. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a group of older adults. These are some of our members that went out geocaching. And geocaching is like a treasure hunt that you use an app on your phone, and it will take you on a walk, and then you actually find little items. You'll see here they've got a little Folgers can that they have opened up, and inside there are little prizes, and you get to write your name on the list saying that you found it. It's a great activity to do with grandkids, and just a lot of fun. You end up walking a long way, and you don't even realize how far you've gone. So whatever you do, find ways to get up. If you do have physical limitations, or if walking is difficult for you, at least try to get up out of your chair, change positions, move your bodies in some ways. You know, we're such a sedentary culture. We've gotten really where we spend so much time sitting in front of the computers, like I'm doing right now. But setting a little alarm on your phone that once an hour you at least get up and stretch can make a huge, huge difference in your health, even if you're not able to do any strenuous exercise. So the next piece is cognitive activity, and this is about brain health. And we have really found that people forget about the brain when they're thinking about staying fit and healthy and working out. They forget about the thing that's driving the bus, right? That is your brain. You need to be working it as well. There's a lot of research now showing that you can create new brain cells your entire lifespan. So how do we continue to learn and grow and keep our brain healthy? And here are just some important tips that we've found along the way. Socialization has a huge impact. If you spend time with other people, you are doing good things for your brain. When you're in conversation with somebody, you're looking in their eyes, you're hearing what they're saying, you're processing what they're saying, you're coming up with a response, and then you're responding. That's a lot of work, and it keeps your brain really, really active. It keeps it constantly in a new situation because you don't know what that person is going to say. So whatever you do, find some ways to socialize. If you are homebound, consider, phone conversations or using technology to have face-to-face phone calls. But whatever that thing is, find ways to interact with others. The second thing is to do something new with your brain. And a lot of us talk about, we love crossword puzzles or word finds or different types of things like that. Your brain needs to be stimulated in new ways. Those are all great, but once you've done a word find, you kind of know after a while how to do them. So your brain is sort of doing the same thing over and over, the same thing for crossword puzzles. So change it up, do something new, learn something new, take classes like these. Anything that's going to stimulate you to take in new information is going to be good for your brain. Cross-body movements can actually help with rewiring your brain. So one of the things that we want to do is help our brains to be able to communicate with both sides, so that if something is problematic over here, it can at least make a connection over here. So cross-body movements can actually help with sort of rewiring your brain. So anything that you're doing that goes across like this, so think about fitness exercises where you're crossing your hands over your body, or things like patting your head and rubbing your stomach, right? Doing two things at the same time can be really helpful. So just thinking about those things. Also things like brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, or trying something like going a different direction through the grocery store, driving a different direction to church, all of that. Anything that you do in a different way or do it in reverse actually can help rewire your brain a bit. Exercise, even briefly, for 20 minutes, facilitates information processing and memory function. Your brain needs the blood flow. It needs for your body to be moving. It helps it to function better. So be sure that you're incorporating that exercise, some of those that we just talked about. And then eating right and getting enough sleep. Sleep is the time when your brain takes everything, processes it, gets rid of information it doesn't need. We need to get enough stress in order, or enough sleep in order for our brains to function properly. And then find ways to reduce your stress. High anxiety can obviously impact your brain functioning. So there's been a lot of studies coming out just in recent weeks around meaning and purpose. And it's really been shown that when we have a meaning in our life and a purpose, a reason to be, a reason to get up every day, that we have improved physical, emotional, and cognitive well-being. And some ways to think about meaning and purpose. It doesn't necessarily have to be religion, if that's not your thing. If that is, that's a great piece of the puzzle. Self-actualization, trying to be the best person that you can possibly be, is a big piece. Thinking about giving back. How can we contribute to society and find that type of meaning in our life, or maybe having employment, even if it was part-time. All of those things can give you meaning and purpose. But besides that, what about just doing things that you love? Some reason to get up, something that excites you every day. Do you like to garden? Do you like to read? Do you like to take a walk? Do you like to do art? All of those things can actually give you joy and give you a reason to get up every morning. So we already kind of mentioned social interaction and the importance of it, but I'd like to kind of hone in on it a bit more. It is one of the biggest problems that we have in today's society, particularly with older adults, because of our increased use of social media, increased use of technology, families living far away from their kiddos, or from their parents. There's just, we're finding that this is the new health crisis, really, particularly for older adults. Loneliness and isolation increase depression. They can increase your willingness to even want to eat, to want to exercise. It is really, really devastating. Lots of countries around the world are coming up with special plans for this. You'll even find doctors that are prescribing art classes or prescribing social gatherings as a way to address health issues. Being isolated, they've done some studies, is the health equivalent of smoking a half a pack of cigarettes each day. So if you wouldn't do that, then don't be isolated. Try to find new ways. For those of you right now, we're in the middle of sort of our coronavirus issue here. And so self-isolation is a big piece of what needs to be happening in order to maintain our safety and our health. But please do find other ways. Again, even if it's on the phone, find ways to interact with other people. It's going to be really key for us going forward to stay healthy. And these are some other ways that you might consider social interaction and relationships. Obviously, and they're just there's lots of websites out there and lots of different ways that you can do it. But meetup.com is a really great place to find interest-based activities. You can go in and search the things that you're interested in, and chances are there's a group that meets that does those types of things. Dating sites, it's never too late to date. We obviously talked about the myth that, as you get older, you don't want intimacy or love or sex anymore, and that's not true. So maybe dating sites are something for you. Senior centers, parks and rec sites have lots of activities that are going on. Libraries are great places as well. Obviously churches, faith-based congregations of all types, and of course Aging is Cool classes. We do these face-to-face as well as virtually. So attitude can impact your health in a really, really big way. And these are just some pieces that I thought might be interesting. People who show hostility toward others have more cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease, and die at younger ages. So just having an angry, hostile type of attitude actually can impact your health. They're also showing that your mental patterns could be harming essential parts of your DNA. They're showing that it actually, a bad attitude, poor attitude, can actually be unraveling the ends of your DNA, which speeds up the aging process. And we've always, I think many of us know this, that illness tends to progress faster for pessimists. Being happy, being optimistic, having things to look forward to, trying to think positive, can actually positively impact your health. And then the last one is gratitude, acceptance, and humor. Accept that aging is a normal part of life. We're all getting older every day. It's not just people who are 60 and older who are aging. People who are 3 are aging. People who are 17 are aging. It is a normal part of life. It's not something that we can stop. Embrace the parts of you that are better than they were years ago. I am stronger. I'm more confident. I don't have nearly the anxiety that I did when I was younger. That's a great part of getting older. That's a really positive thing. Find something to be thankful for every single day. There's a lot of studies right now around gratitude and positivity. Waking up each morning and journaling 3 things that you're thankful for can actually change your depression levels. It can make you more positive, can change your outlook significantly. And all you have to do is take a moment and think of the things that you're grateful for today. Laugh when you can and cry when you need to. Aging is not always cool, and we know that. Sometimes things hurt, and sometimes we lose loved ones, and sometimes we are isolated when we don't want to be. Take time to cry and do the grief and do what you need to do, and then find solutions. Step up and try to find ways to make it better. There are resources out there for you in your community. Get help, ask for help, and try to find people to share your journey with you. We're all in this together, and we have to take care of each other. So find people that can share your journey along the way. So there you go. We've reached the end. These are the ways that aging can be cool. Staying healthy, staying fit, engaging in the world around you, finding a purpose and meaning, all of that can make aging really, really cool. So thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you at a future program. Thanks. Bye.